Good Monday morning. Part of being an adult means you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. That's just one of the realities. If you're trying to escape that or avoid that, then you got to realize you're just making it harder for yourself. Let me give you some examples from my life. When I was about 14, a guy that I knew in my neighborhood said, hey, where I work needs a kid to come clean up some stuff and do some stuff. So why don't you come and you get paid, I can't remember, $3 an hour. Back then that was okay. I really didn't want to, but I didn't want to tell him no. You know, I was too embarrassed to say, no, I don't want to. I'd rather stay home and watch the Brady Bunch. So I did it. I went and spent a day or two doing things around the auto shop. It was Amco Transmissions. He worked there as a mechanic, and his boss said he needed someone to come do some odd jobs. So he got me to come. Well, I went thinking it was just going to be a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and I could survive that. Well, I'm there on like the second day. I'm up on the roof getting the swamp coolers ready for the summer. And he comes out and calls up to me, hey, Jimmy, get good news. The boss wants to turn this into a permanent part-time job. And I'm thinking, oh, crap. I didn't want to do this every day. I was just going to do this and get it over with. But similarly, I didn't want to tell him no. So I ended up working there until after I graduated from high school. It was really a good thing, but the reality was I didn't want to do it. Well, you may be in that position too, relative to employment, whatever it is, school, homework, something you're going to have to do that you don't want to do, but you know that you should. So that's what I'm talking about when you've got to do hard things as you're growing up. I had 2 more stories, and I'll try to tell them quickly. One was going to college. I planned to go to college. I got ready to go to college. It was tough. It was tough because, well, 4 years, which ended up taking 6 for me, was a long time. And I remember I'm starting and you've got classes and you've got homework, and I still had my job, a different job at that point. It was tough. I couldn't have done it by myself. I mean, I was living at home, so I didn't have room and board, but, you know, I didn't have others to help with homework other than peers at school and office hours and teachers' assistants and stuff. It was hard, but it was also a good decision. And I stuck with it, and it helped me get jobs that I could not have gotten otherwise. So it was a good thing, but it was hard. Now, one last thing. This is more recent. I've gotten coaches to help me get better, even in adulthood. In the last 5 years, I still have coaches. One of them started talking about doing ice baths. I hate being cold. I mean, I shudder at the thought of being cold, and he started talking about doing ice baths. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to do this because I'm committed to do what my coach is telling me in this case, but oh, I did not look forward to it. So in fact, in this tub right behind me, 2 bags of ice, cold water, dumped them in there, and we were supposed to get in for 3 minutes and then go under. And I did not relish the thought, but I knew I had to do it, so I did it. I remember getting out, my skin was all red because it was cold, but I did it. I actually did it. Now, he started saying, well, now do a cold shower for 30 minutes a day, or not 30 minutes, do a cold shower once a week. So I started doing that. Well, now I've done it so much that it doesn't scare me anymore. It's not always, you know, I don't necessarily look forward to it, but I know I can do it. So when I'm standing in the shower, ready to rinse off, which is when I turn it to full cold, I'm thinking, I don't want to do this, but you know what, I've done it hundreds of times now, so I know I can do it. Turn it, do my rinse off, and you know, it's probably 60 seconds now every day in cold water. I know I can do it. In fact, recently I was on a coach's retreat, and one of the optional activities was to do an ice plunge or a cold plunge. I went out and got in a river, and I didn't go all the way under. I did go up to my neck, but and stayed in for a little bit so that I guess I could prove to myself that I could do it. And the whole point of this is not because you need to do a cold plunge. You don't necessarily have to go to college even, but you are, if you want to be successful as an adult, going to have to do things you don't want to do. And if you can get your mind into that reality, and they're not going to kill you, and it's not going to be hard, and you're not giving up your life, you're not going to die if you have to go to work. Quite the opposite is true. You're going to be liberated in ways that you're not otherwise. You're pretty confined if you can't afford to pay for rent. You're pretty confined if you're dependent on somebody else to buy your food. And you can do a lot to get out of that condition by doing hard things. So I will tell you that it's easier to do some of those hard things if you have someone helping you and encouraging you. In fact, that's why I do this, because I want to help you get to levels that you perhaps wouldn't otherwise. So keep watching the videos, keep letting me know what would help you best. If you want to work with me specifically on doing some harder things, perhaps than you're used to doing now, boot camp starts this Wednesday. Check it out at stepdad.org/bootcamp. And if it'll help you, then make sure you enlist. And we'll take you through some activities that will help you put disciplines in place that are going to help you be successful. So always remember, you do have a dad that loves you, and I'll see you on the next video.